Hi everyone, welcome to our video. We are here today to talk about CA&ES Aggie advising, getting to know your major in college. We wanted to start out by introducing ourselves. My name is Clarissa. I am an academic advisor in the Undergraduate Academic Programs Dean's Office, aka CA&ES Dean's Office. And to introduce my co-hosts today, we have Stephanie and Elizabeth.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Myers. I am the undergraduate advisor for food science and technology.
Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Price, and I am the undergraduate advisor for Viticulture and Enology.
So we wanted to welcome you to the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, and congratulations. Today, we are going to be talking about some basics regarding the college as well as your major. The two majors that we're going to be covering are food science and technology as well as viticulture and enology. We'll also be covering some basics on how to prepare for your Aggie advising appointment this summer and some tips on planning your first quarter schedule. So for the rest of the presentation, we are going to be going off camera, and so that way you'll see all of the slides. So give us just a moment while we do that. All right, so on this slide, you are going to see an image for your CA&ES network of support. This is an image of each of the different types of advisors that will be here to assist you throughout your time at UCDAVIS. So as a student in the College of Ag, you have a wide network of support that includes major advisors who can help you with major specific questions like what classes should I be taking, how do I get involved in the major, and what research opportunities are available in my major. You also have UAP Dean's Office advisors like myself who can help you explore different majors, answer questions about your university, general education, and college requirements, and any other general questions you might have. Now, although we specialize in certain areas, major advisors and the UAP Dean's Office advisors can connect you with campus resources and also introduce you to co-curricular opportunities so that you can get involved in your major or in the College of Ag. You may also work with faculty advisors in your major who are experienced professors that can help you tailor your major to your interests. And we also have peer advisors who are current UCDAVIS students that are a great resource to give you the student perspective and experience in the major. Now, we're all here to help you navigate your academic career, so don't be afraid to ask for help as you begin your time here at UCDAVIS. Now, to give you a little bit more information on how to get involved with the College of Ag, we want to encourage you to take advantage of some of the opportunities that we offer here in the college. We have fun opportunities for new students to engage with our staff and with our peers. So one example of this is our Aggie Ambassadors program. This program gives students the opportunity to participate in community service and outreach while promoting our college. And you'll see a photo of that on the top left. In this image, our Aggie ambassadors are participating in outreach to high school students at the Future Farmers of America events. In the Career Discovery Group program, which is the image on the far right, new College of Ag students can get a head start in exploring different career paths under the guidance of a campus mentor. Now, another great opportunity that we have in our college is our Manners Student Organization. It's MANNRS for short. It's also known as Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences Organization. Now, in this program, students can take part in promoting diversity in the field of agriculture. All of these programs offer a unique way for students to get involved and in some cases even earn academic credit towards their degree. So if you're interested, feel free to contact the UAP Dean's office. And we also want to encourage you to be on the lookout for some of our events this fall, such as Coffee with the Dean. We also have ice cream socials, and we also have Slice of Advising. All right, now we're going to move on to our major specific portion of this video. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and Stephanie is going to take it away.
Well, hello, everyone. Before we begin, I just want to say congratulations on your admission to UCDAVIS. We are extremely excited to see you in the fall quarter, especially after having this full year working remotely. I am looking forward to seeing you all in person. And I imagine that you all have a lot of questions or anxieties about your first quarter at UCDAVIS. So my presentation will talk about a little bit about the food science major, the course requirements, career paths, first quarter recommendations, and some opportunities for student involvement. So again, my name is Stephanie Myers. I am the undergraduate advisor for food science and technology. I included my contact information here to reach out to us. Our email is bftvadvising@ucdavis.edu. And I also included the link to our department webpage where you could find additional information about the major. So for the rest of the slide, I will turn off my video so that you could see the full presentation. Please give me one moment. All right, so what is food science and technology? So food science is absolutely a science major. It utilizes chemistry, microbiology, and engineering to essentially study the principles of the underlying processes of foods. It talks about how we analyze the food content, how to discover new food sources, and it explores ways to make processed food safe, palatable, and nutritious. Now, food technology takes on a different approach. It's basically the application of food science to determine the best ways to process, package, preserve, and store, as well as distribute food to the general market. So there are different branches of food science. This is not an all-inclusive list, but these are some of the common areas of food science that I would like to talk a little bit about. So product development is essentially what it says, where food scientists create a product from scratch. And in this creation, they consider many different things. They consider the packaging, the product taste, consumer, which consumer are they sharing the product with, the cost analysis. So product development is a really popular career path for a lot of our students in the major. In addition to this area, we also focus on food safety and packaging. So for food safety, it's really vital to consumer health. Microbiologists will focus on the different standards of health so that we don't get sick when we consume our food product. Sensory evaluation focuses on the flavor, chemistry, and appearance of the food. We definitely want to make it healthy, but we also want to make it nutritious and safe to eat. And nutrition is, related to that in the sense that, we want to create a food product. What immediately comes to mind is Impossible Foods, where they create plant-based products that resemble meat. So in creating this, food scientists will look at the calorie makeup, the chemical makeup to create a product that's people can enjoy, and that's also healthy to eat. And finally, sustainability focuses on the environmental impacts of food systems and resource management. This is an agricultural-based area. that students may also be interested in studying. So why study food science? Well, food scientists help solve problems of producing and distributing food safely across broad geographical ranges and in varying climatic conditions. They also respond to market demands by creating food products that meet modern consumers' needs for nutrition, taste, and convenience. From microwavable meals to vitamin A-enriched rice, food scientist projects help solve one of the oldest problems, which is, what are we going to eat? So I wanted to talk a little bit about the different career paths in food science. Again, this is not an all-inclusive list, but these are a lot of popular career paths that our students like to explore. Of course, you could be a food scientist. Dairy scientists focus on milk products. You can focus on flavor chemistry. We actually have a course here taught at the graduate level that undergraduate students can participate in. It's FST 213. It is an upper division course, again, taught at the graduate level, and it's basically flavor chemistry. So one of the great things about this major is that you will be taking courses for your restricted elective requirement. And with this requirement, you can take different courses in different areas. So a lot of these career paths do have some courses behind them that will prepare you for that particular path. And I will talk a little bit more about your major requirements in just a few moments. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, how much can you make in this profession? And I think it's really important for students to explore the Bureau of Labor Statistics to find the most recent information about your occupational outlook. So I looked at the occupation of agricultural and food scientists. And as of 2019, the median salary was about $65,000 per year. Of course, this will vary depending on your geographical location. So if you're working in a metropolitan area like California, New York, in these areas, they may pay you more. And rural areas might pay a little bit less. So it depends on the area that you plan to work in the future. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the job outlook from 2018 through 2028 is about 7%, which is faster than average. So I want to talk to you now about some of the foundational courses in food science. And I always begin a conversation with students to basically ask, do you like food? But do you also like science? Because a lot of these elements are going to be combined. So more than just having a passion for creating food product, you also have to, kind of deal with the scientific portion of this major. So this includes biology, calculus, physics, statistics, general chemistry, organic chemistry, microbiology, and biochemistry. So this is definitely a chemistry-related major. It helps to have some interest and some passion in the chemical sciences. At the undergraduate level, you will be focusing on the general biology, calculus, lower division physics, and introductory statistics, as well as your general chemistry classes and organic chemistry, which serve as prerequisites to your upper division requirements, which include microbiology and biochemistry. So this is a little snapshot for food science major requirements. So for first year students, your first quarter will focus on general chemistry, calculus, maybe a general education course, and an open elective. One of the things I wanted to point out here is that for your first quarter, if you are taking Chem 2A and Math 16A, there is a placement exam that you will have to complete. And more information will be provided to you about these exams. You could essentially take them in the summer before registration, but there are multiple opportunities to complete the exam before classes begin. Your winter quarter and spring is just focusing on the general chemistry and calculus series. And we recommend for your first year to take maybe, no more than 2 or 3 courses for your major requirements, but to also balance those courses with some general education or just fun open elective courses, so you're not overwhelmed with the science requirement. In your sophomore year, you will begin to continue your chemistry learning and organic chemistry. You'll also focus on physics, food preservation, which is going to be your first food science course in the major. And unfortunately, you do have to wait at least a year before you start taking your food science classes, but I think it's well worth the wait, especially because these lower division classes in your first year will prepare you to be successful in later years. So if you're coming in as a junior transfer student, this is probably where you'll begin, depending on the classes that you've completed at your community college. So junior students in the major in fall quarter typically start with their food chemistry courses. So food composition, biochemistry, microbiology. Again, these are going to be your specialization courses for which you do need to have a solid scientific background to be successful. In your senior year, you will be taking food processing, analysis, and some product development classes. Product development is actually a restricted elective. I mentioned this a little bit earlier about your restricted elective requirement. It is an optional course that could be used to satisfy their RE requirement, but I highly recommend taking the product development class. That is essentially the purpose of this major, and what many students are interested in is that product development course. One very important thing I do want to mention here is that most of our upper division courses in the major are only offered once a year. So it's not very forgiving in terms of scheduling flexibility, which basically means if you do not have the organic chemistry, the general chemistry prerequisites, you will not be able to continue fall quarter on track for food composition in the lab. So the prerequisites here for 100A, 101A are going to be prerequisite to 100B, 101B. So it builds off of each other, which is why it's very important to complete all of your preparatory coursework as soon as you can, so that you could take advantage of our upper division courses. So here's a sample first year schedule for the major. First year students, as I said before, you're really focusing on maybe 1 or 2 major courses during your first quarter. My recommendation is the general chemistry, Chem 2A, and Math 16A. Again, you do need the chemistry placement exam in order to take these courses. And if you do need to take a workload course because maybe your placement exam score is a little bit low, there are workload courses that you could take that will not delay your time to graduation, but will prepare you to get started in our general classes. So for students who do need workload classes, you can definitely catch up, maybe in the summer, so that you are on track for your sophomore year. And I also encourage you to add some fun classes to your schedule. There are a ton of classes that you could take for general education. In addition to that, you also need to satisfy the entry-level writing requirement if you had not done this already. And of course, there are first-year seminars that talk about a lot of different and interesting topics that you may want to add to your schedule as well. And first-year seminars can range between maybe 1 and 3 units. Some of them are letter graded, some of them are not. And I think it's really important to take advantage of these courses to kind of branch outside of your major and general interest to explore new things at UCDAVIS. For transfer students, I will create your academic plan for you, but in general, if you've completed all of your preparatory science courses, you would start with the food chemistry and lab, sensory design, and food preservation in your first quarter at UCDAVIS. So for my last slide, I just want to tell you a little bit about student involvement and opportunities in the major. We do have 2 groups. We have the Food Science Brewing Club. So for those of you who are interested in pursuing the brewing option, I definitely encourage you to participate in that club. We have our own brewery on campus, which is really great and exciting, and I can't wait for you to see that in the fall. For regular food science majors, we have the Food Tech Club, which is a really popular club on campus. They do a lot of field trips. They do competitions, food competitions. You know, there's just so many opportunities for Food Tech Club. They bring in guest speakers. They have a lot of activities. So I highly encourage you to let me know if you're interested in these different activities so that I can connect you to the appropriate student groups. So this is the end of my slide. I am now going to transition, introduce you to Elizabeth Price for Viticulture and Enology.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen, my presentation. Perfect. So here you can see the Robert Mondavi Institute. This is one of our main campus buildings. Actually, hold on one moment. Let me stop share real quick because I can't see my Zoom window. I'm gonna actually stop my video so I can focus on the presentation, but you'll see my face on the next slide again. Okay, great. So here we are, as you see pictured, it's a picture of the Robert Mondavi Institute Winery. This is one of the facilities that viticulture and enology students, and actually maybe even perhaps some food science students may be learning in during their time at UCDAVIS. And this is just a little introduction slide. This is me. I like to talk about things that don't necessarily always include your major. Like my favorite holiday is Halloween. I love ube ice cream. I have a really cute 3.5-year-old who you'll probably see lots of pictures of if you come into my office. And I am a very enthusiastic, burgeoning cat lady at the same time. And you can also see my contact info there too in the corner. Okay, so just a little bit about viticulture and enology. Most people know what, you know, wine is, but they don't necessarily know about the process of making wine and all the work and science that actually goes into it. And so we actually have kind of two sides of this major. We have viticulture, which is the study of grape cultivation. If you focus on this, you might be more interested in, you know, soil science, some of the diseases that happen in plant science. And enology is the study of wine and winemaking. And so we have lots of facilities that I'll be sharing with you a little bit later on in this presentation. But part of our program highlights are that you do have access to world-class facilities. We have lots of labs and courses where you actually will get some hands-on experience. We have a campus vineyard. We have a vineyard also in Napa that you may get an opportunity to travel to. We have a very small major in comparison to other majors, including food science, where we have 15 faculty and always a little bit around 100 students, you know, depending on who is entering and who is graduating. So you really will get a chance to get to meet your faculty and pretty early on. So it just makes for a really nice, I don't know. I just feel like our major has like a really good camaraderie and atmosphere between the faculty and the students. So I'm excited to welcome you to that. So here we have some pictures of our world-class facilities. We have a teaching winery, and we actually have the most advanced teaching winery in the world. It was the first to receive LEED Platinum certification, which is the highest certification granted in the United States by the United States Green Building Council. It's a 34,000 square foot facility, and it houses, you'll see here in the pictures, it houses some fermentation. It has a lot of like different tools that I'm actually not very familiar with, but that you're going to be learning about while you're here. And this, you can see, is, you know, our office buildings where some of our like faculty offices are, but also our classrooms and our teaching labs as well. And then this, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to change that, but there's actually a picture here of our on-campus winery as well. So here we are. This is the suggested 4-year plan for our students. And so some of the first 2 years, if you're an incoming freshman, you're going to be taking those math classes, the calculus, the chemistry. You're going to be working on those preparatory science and science courses so that you can be successful in your upper division viticulture and enology classes when you get to your 3rd year. And so it's very similar to food science in that we have a full series of chemistry, we have biology, we have 1 quarter of physics, we'll have some plant science. Your first quarter, you'll probably be trying to enroll in Ven 2, which is focuses on the viticulture side of our major. And then in your 2nd quarter, in winter, we recommend students to take an introduction to winemaking class. So it's actually kind of nice because you get exposed to some core topics in our major pretty early on, and that helps inform you what are some of the things that you enjoy about our major, and then you can take our restricted electives, which we will discuss, you know, on our one-on-one meetings together. But we have a group of restricted electives, and we have these core categories for students. And there's 5 categories total, but the first 3 are plant science, food science, and microbiology, which you can imagine we're very close to, and then economics and business. So you will have the opportunity to kind of tailor part of your experience to some of your interests, which is really nice. And here you'll see some core topics that we discuss, you know, mainly in our upper division classes, but you'll probably touch on in Ven 2 or Ven 3. If you are a transfer student, then we will come up with a custom plan together based on the courses that you have already completed. So here's just a sample 1st quarter schedule for students. And I think Stephanie really emphasized this, and I think this is something that's really important for students that are just coming into UCDAVIS, is that we do have these general chemistry and calculus classes that we start off with. You will be taking a placement exam to see if you place into these classes, and you can start with them in your 1st quarter. But I always really like to tell students not to be too concerned, or at least our 1st year students, not to be too concerned if your placement exam doesn't place you immediately into chemistry 2A or math 16A. We can definitely adjust your schedule. You're not going to be behind. You're not going to you're not going to delay graduation if you don't place immediately into these courses. And part of my job is to make sure that you feel comfortable and that we can adjust your academic plan together. And I really want to emphasize together, because this is, you know, very much about your experience here at UCDAVIS. Not, you know, it's not me. I don't have to take the classes, you do. And I want you to make sure that you feel empowered and that you have the tools to feel equipped to do well in your courses and be successful during your time here. And yeah, so here is the, the general first classes that you'll be taking, your major courses. Stephanie mentioned the ELWR requirement, which is your English requirements. We recommend a general ed class in your first quarter just to kind of break up that math and calculus. And it can be really fun and interesting. And your first year is a really good time to experiment and take classes that really interest you. Transfer students, I didn't put much here because transfer students are their academic plan, we'll come up with a graduation plan together. We'll do a full 2 years. And that might actually take some adjusting too once you get here and you start taking classes. But it's very much tailored to the previous coursework that you completed. And I always like to talk to my transfer students and make sure that we're discussing your interests and where you want to really focus on during your time here at UCDAVIS. So another big portion of our program is research and internships. Our major doesn't require internships, but many of our students are very interested in getting some hands-on experience. And we are really lucky in that we live in an area where it's very easy to access local wineries, or you could even, drive an hour and a half away and be in Napa. So if harvest internships are something that you're very interested into, I really emphasize that it's not too early to start discussing that. Even if you are thinking that you're just kind of on the fence, let's talk about it and let's add that into your academic plan if you're interested in that. You can receive credit for your internships, and it does fulfill part of your restricted elective requirement too, which is really nice. We also have a lot of international internships in our major. And so I think it opens in December or early January. We're gonna actually have some travel awards that you can apply to. And some students can receive fellowships to go and participate in a harvest abroad. And I think wine is a very global, it's just a very global industry. You'll be amazed at where people make wine. It's not just France and Napa. There's just like so many different places that you can go and make wine. And so we really want our students who are interested in that to be able to pursue that. So what can you do with your major? This is just a sample of some of the places that some of our graduates have worked. We have a lot of alumni across the state and even internationally that we like to call upon and still network with. So they can, if they're interested in hiring our students and our graduates, we want to provide that opportunity for everybody. As I said, it's a global industry, but it's also a small industry. And so I think it's really important that we keep you connected to alumni and just other opportunities for after you graduate. So here are some of the, just the more common titles that you'll see when you're looking for jobs, but we also have our own job board on our website. And if you are thinking about what you're going to do after you graduate, which we'll discuss usually in your 4th year together, then we can start kind of planning for that as well. Student involvement. So we have a couple of student organizations. Our main student organization is DEVO. It's the Davis Enology and Viticulture organization. And DEVO is a pretty active student group. We have a subset, which is VITIS, and it's a tasting group that is usually sponsored by the graduate students in our major. But undergraduates who are 21 and over are welcome to join for the tastings. And so DEVO and VITIS provide lots of different events throughout the year. They're a very active student group. If you are a food science major, you are more than welcome to come and join this student group. It's open to all the majors within the university. And I think that just makes, a more enriching experience for everyone. Some of the pictures that you're seeing, you're just seeing from some of the events. We have this really nice fundraising dinner that we do. We just actually had it this past month. It's called the Winkler Dinner, and DEVO uses it as a fundraiser, and then they also turn around and then they offer scholarships with some of that money. So it's a really nice organization. And I would say, regardless if you're in food science or viticulture and enology, I would definitely encourage you to join so that you can experience just, part of what we have to offer. And then, so that's the end of my presentation. I just wanted to say, you're probably thinking, what happens now? You had Aggie 101 advising, you are learning about your major, what's next? And well, so there's gonna be more presentations. Hopefully, we're going to be having some Q&As and opportunities to meet faculty advisors. And we're trying to figure out, how to do tours, whether that's going to be virtual or in person. We have some things that are still up in the air, but we're so excited to meet you. And I just want to say, check your email, make sure that you are checking that ucdavis.edu email frequently. You're going to be getting messages from us and from the dean's office and other important, organizations on campus as well. And this concludes our recorded portion of the presentation. Thank you for joining us.